Good morning, Lawrence. How are you doing today? We're, yeah, I'm here. Good morning, Lawrence. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing well. We're excited about having you as a guest on our show.
Well, thank you. Happy
So we are excited, of course, about your new album, A Day in My Life. How great was it working with your wife, Hope, on the project?
well. It works on any project as a whole. Reason that I've done a series of albums, solo guitar arrangements, Beatles tunes, is because she prompted it in the first place. And I agreed that I would do it, even though my main focus in the 1990s, was really writing my own compositions and recording those. And she said, well, I would really like to have an album of you doing your Beatle arrangement. And I said, well, I'll do it if you produce it. And so we did a series, we've done a series of four, plus also one but when Paul said, well, what about Wings? I did one called One Wing, which is solo arrangements of Wings too. And when the opportunity came up to be able to record in Abbey Road Studio 2, I took a dozen of my favorite arrangements, our favorite arrangements, and just spent a day recording. I couldn't decide whether to call it a day in the life or in my life. And a day in my life, I think, was the apropos title because it's exactly what it was. One day um, of recording these Beatles songs.
Definitely, but one great day. I mean, gosh, to be able to experience being in that studio with the history, I mean, that must have been a joy.
Well, it was a joy to go back there. I'd spent a lot of time there. I mean, I've worked there at the studio. When I got the call to audition for Wings, I was working in that studio. Um, and I worked there a lot with Wings, but I hadn't been back since, since the Wings days. So it was something of a homecoming to be able to go back there. Uh, and I didn't really realize until I was actually sitting there recording just how much the atmosphere of the room, not just the sound, but the whole vibe of the room was contributing to the process of making a record. And just how much it, sometimes recording studios feel like, kind of factories. No matter what the decor, they're just, they're kind of, you go in there and you churn out music. But Abbey Road has a magic to it that transcends the normal recording studio.
Nice. I can imagine this weekend is going to be crazy busy for you. Of course, the new album, A Day in My Life, drops today. And then you have the NY Fest for Beatles fans. Tell me about how excited
Yeah.
you are for both those things.
Well, I'm talking to you from the TWA Hotel at JFK Airport, which where the Beatles um, came through when they came to the States. And um, this because it's the 60th anniversary of our debut. It's a special weekend, and I timed to release the album accordingly, just a special day. Although in England, of course, we didn't have it Sullivan, so the entire year of 1963 was this kind of cresting wave of Beatlemania. And my 11th birthday in November of that year was when I got a guitar, and I've never put it down since. So 60 years on six strings. Um, but it's gonna be a fun weekend. There's some great other musicians here too. Billy J. Kramer's here, and um, after I did my album in Abbey Road, I also worked there with Billy J I was co-producing an album for him that will be out later on this year. And he was the first concert I ever went to. When I was 10 years old, I saw Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotaz and Jerry and the Pacemakers in concert. And that made a huge impression on me. We've got Greg Bissonette, Ringo's drummer. Um, we've got Mark Rivera, who's Ringo's musical director, and Billy Joel's sax player. You might have seen it on the Grammys with Billy Joel the other day. Um, just a great bunch of musicians, including Steve Holley, who was the drummer in Wings when I was in that. And so, there's kind of reunions going on. We'll have a great time. It's really an interesting place. I mean, if you've not heard about it, just Google TWA Hotel and you'll see this incredible kind of 1960s architecture that has unique. So definitely going to be an exciting weekend.
That is awesome. I was going to say you read my mind because that was my next question was about Steve and how you and him are going to be reuniting and going to be performing together. That is phenomenal that you guys will be able to share the stage again.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not the first time we've done it. In fact, Steve was with us at Abbey Road when we were recording with Jay Kramer too. And you know, over the years, Steve and I and Denny Lane, that we passed in December, but Denny was always part of it. I used to call it the three-wing circus. We always had fun playing together. But you know, and being able to do the new album here, playing a set of Beatles songs for a Beatle audience is always a satisfying thing. Also makes it easy. I don't have to announce any of the songs because they all know what I'm playing.
Oh, definitely.
But the album's out today. It's available on vinyl. In fact, part of the conception of the record was to do it on vinyl, which is why there's 12 tracks that we could fit them on a vinyl release. But it's also available on all streaming services. And through my website, you can get signed copies. But you can get the vinyl from Amazon or ask for your local, if you have one, a local record store. There's definitely a retro thing going on at this point.
That is awesome. I was going to say, I love that. I got my record player at home. What I like to do at the end of the day, I like to sit back, throw a record on there. Of course, I'm going to put A Day in My Life. While I'm doing that, though, I love to look through like photo books, coffee table books, that kind of thing. And I was wondering, do you have one in mind that you would recommend?
I recommend my book, Guitar with Wings, which is something of my history, but the photos, the core photos in it were pictures that I took during the recording of the Backs of the Egg album, along with photos that my brother Graham took during the Wings short UK tour, 17. And that's a pretty good read. I seem to really like it. Now a few years ago, and there's some great pictures in there that are not the normal ones that you can see. So you can find that on Amazon. This stuff also through my website, LaurenceJuber.com. You can find that.
Awesome, Laurence. It has been a pleasure having you on today. Obviously, you've got a bunch ahead of you. Like you said, you got the album A Day in My Life dropping today. You've got the NY Fest for Beatles fans. So, and that's going to be a whole weekend. I understand there's going to be a couple acoustic and electric performances. I mean, it's just going to be a great event. So, any of our listeners that can get up to that should definitely do that because I mean that sounds like a once in a lifetime experience to be able to be around such great performers. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web can we follow more about you?
I'm on Facebook. I have my artist page on Facebook as well as my personal page. I don't post very much on Instagram. And I'm trying to force myself to really start posting stuff on Thread. But Facebook is kind of a home base for me. During COVID lockdown, I was doing Facebook live sessions 3 times a week. I called it Tea Time with LJ. But all the information you can find at LaurenceJuber.com. And it's LaurenceJuber, but if you spell it with a W, you'll still get it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Laurence. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Jim. Appreciate it.
That has been Grammy Award-winning guitarist Laurence Juber. Laurence Juber was the guitarist for Paul McCartney's Wings. We discussed his new album, A Day in My Life. Do that again so that way you can edit it. Oh, wait. Shoot, I'm going to post it direct. Well, anyway, that had been Laurence Juber, Grammy Award-winning guitarist, and we discussed A Day in My Life, his new album, and we also discussed the NY Fest for the Beatles fans.